So when you work with a composer like Josh, see
Yeah,
now you opened up a Pandora's box. I
sure.
promise you I'm not going to take up that much of your time.
No, it's fine.
But
It's fine.
but you got me thinking because I generally, if it's a movie that I'm doing on my own, which is the majority of the time, I'll do the music. Like
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. Like I'll pull it. I'll do it just because I can kind of make stuff sound the way I want it to sound.
Yeah.
But like sometimes when I made stuff for other like companies and whatnot, they'll be like, "Hey, this person has a score, or this person wants to score it. This blah blah blah." Like, how do you work like that? Because I've never given someone a cut of a film and said, "Hey, go and put music to these four scenes." It's mainly like I'll tell them this is the kind of thing that I want, and then kind of make it fit, kind of thing. Like,
Right.
like, are you like how do you do it? Like, what do you give Josh other than words? What do you give him, or do you give him
Pre-
any?
Pretty much just the locked cut of whatever scene. It's usually scene by scene. The locked cut of whatever scene with the dialogue, and that's it. Like at that point, it hadn't even been sound designed in both cases. So it's just scene cut together with dialogue, usually like a very rough mix of the dialogue at that point even. And I don't temp in anything because again, I don't want to like lead them down the wrong, I'm just like, I'm bringing you on because I want you to do what you do. So pretty much you do your thing. And with Josh, every time he's hit the target. It in the past with other composers, I've kind of been like, well, I was thinking more something like this, but Josh and I kind of are simpatico in that way where everything he came up with was something that like immediately for me elevated the scene, so I knew, even like I said, even before sound design was added, even before the dialogue was mixed correctly to where it would still make the scene flow, even with like all the rough stuff not sanded away. And funny thing about in betweening, because Josh was so busy and because we had no real budget for him this time around, I wasn't sure if he'd be able to score it. So just in case, in my free time, I did like my own score for the movie and the whole thing really. And Angelo kind of contributed some things too. Uh, and then but then he's like, "Hey man, I've got some score for you. I'll send it, I'll get it done." And I was like, "Oh, great. Let's see what." And as soon as I dropped it in, I'm like, "Okay, mine sucks," and just threw it right. But it even in my sound mixer, this guy that I've worked with a bunch, and he knew it was that I had done it. He wasn't trying to be mean or whatever, but he's like, "Yeah, dude, Josh's score just raised everything," and I agree. That's why I had no hesitation or ego about it. I'm like, "Yeah, this is way better," because that's what he does.
So when you get something back from Josh or someone, do they give it to you? Like, will they put it into the movie so that you can see it that way, or do you literally have to like play it at the same time that you're watching your locked cut of the movie?
Josh actually gives me exports with it synced up.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
wow, cool, cool.
yeah,
So then, like Mel, like I'm saying, like I'm editing a movie right now. I'm editing the Pickleball Exorcist, and I'm saying I put in audio, I put in sound effects, I've done all this stuff, sound design and whatnot. But the difference, like when I talk to you, and maybe this is just me, but when I talk to you, I just get the feeling that you do it kind of more legit. Like I literally am. I do it the best that I possibly can do it. I level it the best that I can possibly level it. And then when I'm feel that it's good enough.
yep.
I'm done. How do you work with stuff like that? Like do because you do like are you do because I think I asked you this, like you're doing everything, right? Like in terms
I,
of editing or no?
Editing, yes. Although, so up and like as of walking distance, so as of my fourth feature, I started having a sound designer handle all of like the sound, like the dialogue editing, any ADR we had to do, any Foley, any sound effects. And so I edit the picture completely, get the audio, the dialogue to where I want it, just more or less to where everything's cut together to where it makes sense,
Mm.
if I have to cut together takes, and then hand it off to Greg, he's our sound designer, and he handles all the sound stuff.
And are you giving him like just a hard drive, and then he
Pretty
clicks
much.
on the Premiere file, and then it's all there when he opens it up?
Yeah. I export I export an OMF file, which is
Okay.
like proprietary, and so he can open up in Pro Tools. And so that's where he does all of his, and I just export like a low res time code burned version of the movie. So that's got time code in it so that he can sync everything up. And and then he just kind of does all the audio stuff. And then when Josh, for example, is finished with the score, I'll drop it in to temp it out and just kind of make sure everything works, and then hand it off to Greg to let him actually mix it in.
And then Greg will follow it based on the time code that you have given it. You know what's so interesting, and I think that you'll appreciate this. I remember years ago hearing, I think they were doing the Found You video for Sensefield, and Jordan was talking to me about how they were editing it on paper at first in terms of the code. And I just, the thought of that, because I mean, it's just insane to me. Like, it's just insane. And what's crazy is, and this is probably something I should never admit, I don't think I've ever done anything really with time code. Like, I literally, I was editing tape to tape, and then when digital stuff, I started doing that, but I've never. So that's why it was funny, because when I was watching INBETWEENING, and when I was watching Mystery Spot, and I was talking with Mike, I'm like, dude, Mel's movies look like movies. Like